What's up, gamers? Last week we had finished our Zero to Hero series for Prot Warrior, and while I don't think the Warrior is done, and I'll probably return to it again, I don't know that we're going to be getting frequent weekly videos on the Warrior anymore. I'm deciding between what to do with the Warrior, or maybe even getting out one more Zero to Hero series on a different tank. I'm kind of thinking Brewmaster. I want to try Brewmaster in Season 4 of Dragonflight, so I can compare it to how it's going to be in the War Within whenever I do get access to beta. But, as I still do not yet have access to beta, I wanted to do a little bit different video, a little bit of a fun video, and today we are going to be rating the hero talents for the War Within. Now, I just said I don't have beta, so therefore I've never played them. Well, this is the only tier list that matters going into the War Within. You're going to start seeing tier lists come out, but this is the one that's actually important. We're going to be rating the icons for the hero talents. I don't know. It's just a bit of a silly video. I've go ahead and compiled a tier list here that has all of the icons available except for two. Two of them aren't out yet. Last week, WoW had put out an article that a bunch had come out, including, like, I think some redesigns on some. And then some more came out, like Sentinel for Hunter and stuff, but there's still two missing. Those two are Hellcaller and Master of Harmony. So Master of Harmony and Hellcaller are still generic icons, so those are going to go in not applicable. Other than that, let's get started and go through all of these icons. I figured I'd just break it down by class, because that's how I ended up uploading the icons, and I think it'll make it easier if I want to do timestamps in the video. So, let's get started. Up first, we have Deathbringer. Deathbringer, something I'm kind of interested in. I'm pretty interested in Blood DK as my first main going into the War Within. Just based off what I've seen, what I've read, what I've heard. Seems very solid. And I think Blood DK has a really solid icon here. We've got a Shadowmourne type icon here. It's looking good. It makes me, it makes me feel like I'm gonna bring death. Deathbringer is kind of right up my alley. I like to name my characters things like Blade Skull and Pain Edge, so Deathbringer kind of fits for me. I'm gonna go ahead and put Deathbringer icon at A tier. I think it's pretty solid. Now, moving into Sand Lane. Sand Lane, I actually think it's pretty bad. Not like bad, like I'm not upset about it. I did some actual looking into this before. Pretty obviously, it's called Sand Lane, and there's an icon here, so you would think that's the Sand Lane icon, but, like, when have you encountered the Sand Lane icon in-game? Like, maybe in, like, Wrath? I know there's a lot of Sand Lane stuff going on in Wrath, but I don't know. It didn't really stick out to me as, like, oh, I immediately recognize it as Sand Lane, because if you look at all the talents, this is the only one, like, very blood-based, but at the same time, I think it's pretty weak as far as the general talents go, but also as far as describing Sand Lane. The Sand Lane are really cool. If you look at character design for Sand Lane, hold on, I'm actually going to pull up a Sand Lane. Look at how cool, like, this is the queen of the Sand Lane. Look at this. They're very distinct and different from the way that other characters look, particularly other Death Knights. And I don't feel like we got that for this. We just got the symbol with a blood orb. It's still good, but it's fine. It's not the best. All right. Next is Rider of the Apocalypse. I mean, this is one that just got theirs, and that's a horse, and you ride it. It's pretty simple. The Rider of the Apocalypse tree is about summoning the other horsemen of the apocalypse with you. I feel like those could have been included. You could have been like, there could have been, like, the two on the sides and then, like, an empty horse that's implied to be your horse. I'm not in design. I shouldn't be designing them. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in B. It's fine. I like it better than Sand Lane. All right. That finishes up DK onto Demon Hunter, one of the other tank specs. This one is the Eldrachi Reaver. And actually, if you look, I believe it's very similar to what the Vengeance tree shows in the background. So this is the background of the Vengeance tree right here. If you look, it's like exactly the same thing, so it's fine. I don't find it offensive. It feels Eldrachi to me. It's good, but I think that Fell Scarred is better. Felscarred is about like you going into meta, and then your meta's like leaking out and it's becoming empowered. All your Fel is like erupting. It's like uncapped AoE damage. Look at this. This is someone who has so much Fel energy inside of them. They're just like screaming out in pain. This is Dark Pain right here. That's what I've been calling my Demon Hunter lately. Dark Pain. Dark Pain's probably going to be a Fel-scarred Demon Hunter in the War Within. Alright, Demon Hunter's the only one with 2, so I mean, we have to move on to Druid. Alright, now this one is Elun's Chosen. I think it's really good. I think Elun's Chosen, like, for me, and I think about, like, balanced Druids doing the Astral type thing. Now, I think there are like, Druid players that don't like Elun's Chosen, like, as a thing, but that's not what we're doing here. As like a theme, that's I don't care about that. This is pretty sick to me. I think this is like an S tier. I think when I think about what Elun's Chosen should look like, this is pretty damn good. Next up is Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove, to me, I immediately get thoughts of like Cenarius, and so yeah, I think this nails it. I mean, that looks like we have an Emerald Dream Portal, we have the horns, the Druid horns. It reminds me of Cenarius. That's perfect. Next up, we have Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw, pretty famous Druid sect. I'm shocked we didn't get a Druid of the Flame hero talent. I thought that was a cool place to put a hero talent in. Would have rather that. I think Druid of the Claw is like fine, kind of with Sand Lane. It's just like an owl bear or like it looks like more like an owl bear claw to me than a bear claw, but I'm not a fucking cryptozoologist, so what do I know? I don't know. It just doesn't really do anything for me. Next up is Wildstalker, which is a crazy name, by the way. Think about that. Think about that conversation, like with your coworker. Maybe that one that someone listening that doesn't play WoW, and you tell somebody, "Oh yeah, me, I'm a Wildstalker." You know, especially on the weekends, I like to get crazy. That's not good. That's not a good look. But I also think it doesn't look Druid to me. I know it's supposed to be like the cat. Like, this is Feral Resto, I believe. And then it's supposed to be the cat. Like stalking you from the shadows, you know, from like behind a bush. This looks like a hunter one to me. I thought this was a hunter one. And I don't know why. I think it gives me like Eye of the Beast vibes, and I don't like it. I think for a long time this one's not gonna look right to me, but I can see why it looks the way it does. All right, the next is Evoker, and we're gonna be going to Flame Shaper. I believe that's what it's called. Let me double check. Yeah, Flame Shaper. Flame Shaper, this is good. This is good. He's shaping flames. I would have rathered him have flames in his hands too, right? Because he's more like a frame. Because he's more like a flame breather here, as opposed to like shaping the flame with his hands. But it's still good. I mean, certainly it's not bad. Then this is Scale Commander. Scale Commander, that's good. I think this one's really good. And I think it's really good because when I think about a Scale Commander, you know, you've got your army, and there's, you know, 2 other Evokers in the back with this Evoker centered there. They're like leading the charge. This is a guy commanding an army of Evokers in my mind. Now, I don't think their hero talents actually reflect doing that. I thought this one was going to be like summoning extra Evokers to do stuff in battle, but I don't think it does. But then again, I don't play Evokers, so I don't care. Last for Evoker is Chrono Warden, and I think Chrono Warden is kind of not great again. When I think about a Warden, right, like, there's the Wardens tied to, like, the Demon Hunter lore, right? But then there's, like, a Warden is, like, a Guardian or, like, a Protector or, like, a Keeper, basically, right? And this is just an Hourglass. In fact, of the Evoker ones, this is the only one that doesn't show an Evoker in it. It's just an Hourglass. I get it. I get the Chrono theme, right? Like, Keeper of the Hourglass. That's like a huge deal for like the Bronze Flight. But you could have put an Evoker in there. Or like a Bronze Shield. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Next up is Hunter. And we have Dark Ranger. Now, people are upset about Dark Ranger, I think, for several reasons. Most of them being that you get Black Arrow and Survival doesn't get it. But ignoring that, I also think this doesn't make me feel like a Dark Ranger. This doesn't seem very Dark Ranger to me. I don't know. It just doesn't really hit for me. This doesn't feel like... This feels like it's more of an icon for Black Arrow as opposed to for Dark Ranger. I don't think it's very good. I would have rather to be able to, like, faintly see a hunter in the shadows. You know, like, being a Dark Ranger. Or wielding that magic. This is just an arrow. But next up we have Pack Leader for Hunter, and I think Pack Leader nails it. That's great. I mean, that's a dude leading a pack of animals. That's exactly what you want. I also think that Sentinel is great. I think Sentinel is probably B tier. If you don't know what a Sentinel is, I don't think this tells you. But I think if you do know what it is, it's really good. You've got this little crescent moon thing. Sentinel has, like, ties to a loon. Ties to, like, specifically Night Elf culture, I believe. I'm not a lore guy. I don't care. I just think it looks good. I think it looks about B tier. What do these lists really even mean? You know what I'm saying? Alright, next up we have Mage, and we have Spell Slinger. Spell Slinger, B tier. That's really good. You've got the Arcane, you've got the Frost. You're gonna sling some spells, there's a lot of shards. I don't really know what Spell Slinger does. No comment on it. But next up, you have Sun Fury. Now, Sun Fury, right up to the top. That's the second S tier. Wow. I've actually read this hero talent tree. Sick, by the way. Incredibly awesome. Mages just stay winning. Get shit on everybody else. But, wow, man. Alar with the orbs, you know, the Sun Fury orbs. Man, this is a really good icon. This is a Sun Fury icon. This is excellent. S tier. And then I'm going to put Frostfire at A tier. I think I mean, that's Frost and that's Fire. I don't really know what more you want. I know this is Arcane and Ice, what more you want, but this is doing Frost, Fire. I don't know that this is slinging spells yet, you know? He hasn't slung anything. He's kind of just holding them there. Yeah, you know? That's kind of the difference. All right, then I think this is Shadow Pan for Monk. Monk is next. Now, one of Monks is down here, but this is a Shadow Pan. Shadow Pan's pretty good. I mean, the Shadow Pan is very specific. I don't think there's anything crazy about it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's crazy. Yeah, this is Conduit of the Celestials, and it's got that vibe of the Earth, Storm, and Fire spell that that Monk has. Sorry, I'm talking about Monk, and I forgot what they were called. I think this one's really good. I do think it's better than Shadow Pan, and it's certainly better than Conduit of the Celestials right here, which hasn't gotten one yet, which is unfortunate. Next up is Herald of the Sun. Do you know why I got stuck? Do you know why I couldn't figure it out? There's no sun. It's fine. It's good, right? Like, it's very paladin-y. It's got the wings. Like, you're in Wings of Avenging Wrath. I think nobody actually knows what Wings is called anymore because you just called it Wings for the last 20 years. But you're in Wings. It looks sick. But where's the sun? Where's the actual sun? You know, we have one with a moon. We have a second, you know, like, impression of a moon. Herald of the Sun doesn't even have a sun. Kind of a miss for me. In that same vein, this is Lightsmith. It's pretty cool, actually. I almost want to put it here, but then I can't, because it's not smithing anything. It's like it's got a helm, and it's got a shield, and it's got, like, the sides, like a suit of armor made of light, and that's really cool. But it's not, like, I want to see somebody smithing the light into a sword or into armor. You know what I'm saying? This is more like you're a light guy versus a light smith. But Templar, I think Templar is good enough to be B tier. Templar is all about slamming hammers down. Paladin's all about slamming hammers in general. You know, there's that really iconic Paladin spell of the hammer slowly coming down to just crush its enemy. And this, I think this perfectly summarizes that. And that's kind of like what Templar is about. Hammers falling from the sky. Next up is Priest. And we're going to start off with Oracle. And I actually think Oracle is A tier. And Oracle is one that can see the future. And I mean, this perfectly encapsulates that. This looks like the Eye of Ra or whatever it was called from Yu-Gi-Oh! That Pegasus has that lets him see the future. And to me, that really just screams Oracle. Like, this is perfect. Perfect for Oracle. In the same vein, I'm actually going to put Void Weaver up there as well. Now, I kind of want to put Void Weaver down in B tier because I thought this was Shaman for a long time. I thought this was Lightning, not Void. But if you look at the War Within and you see what the Void Balls look like, it's pretty easy to then assume that this is Void Weaver. And I like the juxtaposition between the two of the Oracle with the rays of light coming down and they can see the future, but like, this is the same thing, right? Something right on the forehead, but it's real dark now. It's not a good future anymore. And I think that's really good. To finish off Priest, we're going to be finishing off with Paragon. Is that right? Archon. To finish off Priest, we're going to be finishing off with Archon, and oh man, straight up to S tier. This is the Disc Holy one. Disc being that, like, going into Void form in intermittent, you know, sections to deal huge damage for your ramp healing, and Holy being just the purest form of a healer with buttons like heal, flash heal, other heal. It's perfect. And then this is like the two, you know, the angel and the devil on your shoulder mixed together, each one sharing a wing. This is sick. This is S tier. That's so good. Priest honestly stays winning. This is really good. 2 A's and an S from me. That's sick. Next up is Deathstalker. Deathstalker, I don't think it's like bad, like this bad. Like, I know what I'm looking at, but I also think like it's not great. This doesn't make me excited. It's like a dude sitting on a roof or sitting on a ledge, you know, that like pose that every assassin holds forever. I don't think it's that great. But then I think that Fatebound is a lot better. Now, I think Fatebound might not play a lot better from what I've heard. Rogues stay mad. But I really like how the coin gets closer to you. You know, it's got the several flips, which really plays into the class. It plays into the fate, the chances that you take. I think it's really good. And then I'm actually going to have to put Trickster down here with Deathstalker as well. I just don't really... I got to put Trickster down here. It just doesn't really do it for me. I see the vision, but I don't see the realization of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you do. Next up is Shaman. We have Farseer. I think Farseer is fine. It's good. It doesn't make me excited on the DPS spec. I think this is Ellie. This doesn't make me excited as an elemental, this icon, but this is really great for what a Farseer is, you know? I feel like this nails the idea of a Farseer, even if it doesn't really fit into maybe the classes that well, or the specs, particularly for elemental. But then we get into Stormbringer. Stormbringer, insta A tier. Look at this. This guy is calling down just lightning, a storm. He's in a bubble full of lightning. This is a guy that brings storms. This is sick. That's A tier. And Totemic's also B tier. I mean, that's a totem. It's pretty cool. I know exactly what's going on here. I would recognize this immediately. Not that I wouldn't recognize, like, okay, to be fair, not that I wouldn't recognize these, right? That's not the difference, but the difference is I feel like this really encapsulates Totemic, and also like what it's doing as well. A little bit, which matters a little bit. Now, I think Hellcaller was missing, but we have for Warlock, Diabolist, and Soul Harvester. Yeah, I think Soul Harvester nails it. That's sick. Soul Harvester is really good. You've got this like great big demon, and you're just like it's purple like Drain Soul used to be. I don't think you ever cast Drain Soul again, but you're just like straight up sucking the soul out of a demon, you know what I'm saying? And then you have Diabolus, and that's like an S tier. I was gonna say A, it's an S tier. Look at this. There's this huge pit lord, and then there's like a little guy, and you're like coming to him for great and terrible and awesome power. Oh man, that's sick. That's really good. And then we're gonna cap it off at kind of a low note, actually. We have the warrior ones. This is Colossus, and it's fine, but it doesn't make me feel big, you know? It doesn't make me feel colossal. It's fine. And then you have Slayer, and it's cool. There's like, you know, like a big sword action. There's like movement. You can see movement in the echoes of the blade. It's like a knight in armor. It's pretty sick, but I don't really see them slaying. They don't feel like a slayer to me, you know? And last you have Mountain Thane, and I think Mountain Thane goes here. Mountain Thane, it's like their whole thing is like thunderclapping and shooting off lightning, so I get it, right? There's like a punch, the ground is cracking, there's lightning coming out. But this is just a fist with some lightning. This could be a bad version of Stormbringer if it was upside down. Rotate this, you know, 180 degrees, so it's up, so the fist is up, and that could just be Stormbringer versus Mountain Thane. There's nothing to me here that screams Mountain Thane. I still think it's fine, but it doesn't seem to be what it is to me. Anyway, this was just a fun video, a little funny video. Wanted to put something out this week, but I was taking a little break from grinding my way through pugs. I do think I'll probably do some more lower, you know, progression keying on the different tanks. I kind of want to get all the tanks to 2500 this season, just to kind of know how they feel. I'm grinding away. Hopefully should be able to get ore within beta pretty soon, if I don't just get it normally, naturally, for free, Blizzy. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like and subscribe. I hope to bring you some more content soon. We've been growing like really great this last month. I really appreciate all the support. You gamers are great, so I wanted to thank y'all for that. Lastly, I'll be sure to include a link to this, if I can, down in the description or in the comments below, maybe like the pinned comment. Go ahead and fill this out on your own. Tell me what you think, where you think the icons should go. Tell me where you think I am smart and you agree, and tell me where you think I am an idiot and I'm completely wrong. And you know what? Honestly, like, go ahead and post it on Twitter. My Twitter's always in the description of my videos. You can follow me there, and then tag me with your tier lists so that I may see what the community thinks, of course. That's going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.